Chuck Todd just handed it to NBC over their hiring of election denier and former RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel. Watch this clip, and then let's talk about it.
Look, let me deal with the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I think our bosses owe you an apology for putting you in this situation, because I don't know what to believe. She is now a paid contributor by NBC News. So I have no idea whether any answer she gave to you was because she didn't want to mess up her contract. She wants us to believe that she was speaking for the RNC when the RNC was paying for her. So she has credibility issues that she still has to deal with.
Yeah.
Is she speaking for herself, or is she speaking on behalf of who's paying her? Once at the RNC, she did say that, hey, I'm speaking for the party. I get that. That's part of the job. So what about here? I will say this. I think your interview did a good job of exposing, I think, many of the contradictions. And look, there's a reason why there's a lot of journalists at NBC News uncomfortable with this, because many of our professional dealings with the RNC over the last 6 years have been met with gaslighting, have been met with character assassination. So it is, you know, that's where you begin here. And so when NBC made the decision to give her NBC News' credibility, you got to ask yourself, what does she bring NBC News? And when we make deals like this, and I've been at this company a long time, you're doing it for access to audience. Sometimes it's access to an individual, and we can have a journalistic ethics debate about that. And I'm willing to have that debate. And if you told me we were hiring her as a technical advisor to the Republican convention, I think that would be certainly defensible. If you told me we're talking to her, but let's see how she does in some interviews and maybe vet her with actual journalists inside the network, see if it's a two-way, what she can bring the network. So I do think, unfortunately, this interview is always going to be looked through the prism of who is she speaking for, right? I think you did everything you could do. You got put into an impossible situation, booking this interview, and then all of a sudden the rugs pull out from under you. You find out she's being paid to show up. It's unfortunate for this program, but I am glad you did the best that you could, and that's why the three of us are on here to try to bolster that editorial independence.
Honestly, good on Chuck Todd, because I don't know if he's pissed or not, but I am super pissed about this. And if he is as pissed as I am, he did a great job of keeping it steady, because the way I see it is NBC or any news organization that hires these insurrectionists, known liars, people who repeatedly have sowed the seeds of doubt within our elections and around our democracy, should not be given the credibility of television time, and certainly should not be paid for their opinions when we know that they lie. The reason Ronna McDaniel has any access or notability at all is because she repeatedly lied about our elections, she promoted an insurrection, and she worked with Donald Trump to try to overturn a free and fair election. And I feel like Ronna McDaniel, even if she has said now that she believes the insurrection wasn't right and that Donald Trump lost the election, where was that 4 years ago? You do not get to repeatedly stab our democracy in the back. And when you finally put down the knife, get to say, oh no, murder's wrong.